Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Mod Warframe. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the Prime sidearms, the Sicarus Prime. Now the Sicarus Prime was released back in update 11 and hasn't really received a lot of attention, with the world of sidearms being a very competitive place while there are lots of viable good secondary weapons to choose from. However, I do feel that the Sicarus Prime deserves a place at that particular table. Now the base damage of 32, which is split very evenly between the three damage types, means that the weapon not only hits rather hard, it's very versatile and can be used pretty effectively against any and all types of enemies that you come across. Now the high accuracy and the high fire rate combined with the large magazine size means that you can put down very accurate, very effective fire onto a group of enemies. However, you do need to keep an eye on your magazine counter. Due to the uneven magazine size, the last burst in the Sicarus Prime is only ever going to be 2 shots, and that has caught me out on a number of occasions. The weapon does have a few downsides, however, chief of which is actually the weapon's main feature, which is the burst fire. Even though the weapon has low recoil, if you are aiming for headshots, then the likelihood is only 2 is ever going to hit the head. If you aim slightly low and let the recoil take the weapon up, likelihood is that 1 round's going to hit the neck, then the 2 in the head. If you aim straight at the head, then the likelihood is the 3rd round is going to miss entirely, sailing way over the target's head. Now burst fire also means that often you use more shots to kill an enemy than you actually need. If an enemy is going to die in 4 hits, and you end up wasting another burst just to get that extra 1 killing shot. Now the burst fire also means that the ammo consumption for this weapon is fairly high compared to a lot of other sidearms, and in longer missions an ammo mutation becomes almost mandatory. Now the grind for the Sicarus Prime is actually a fairly easy one, since the weapon only requires 3 parts: the blueprint, which can be acquired from Tower 3 Survival or in the Orokin Derelict Defense, the barrel can be acquired from either Tower 3 or 4 Exterminate, and the receiver can be picked up in Tower 3 Survival or Tower 4 Interception. The most expensive part of the weapon, however, is the rather costly 10 Orokin cells that it takes to actually build the weapon. Okay, so let's start to mod the Sicarus Prime. Firstly, we're going to go with the Grineer build. We're going to start off with Hornet Strike in the V polarity, then we're going to go with Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent, we're going to go with an Expel Grineer mod, we're going to go with Heated Charge and Convulsion for that radiation damage. Now against Corpus, we're going to go with Hornet Strike, Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent, and then Expel Corpus this time, and Convulsion and Deep Freeze for that magnetic damage. Now for the Void, we're going to go again with Hornet Strike in the V polarity, Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent. We're going to go with Pistol Pestilence and Convulsion for corrosive damage. We're going to go with Quick Draw for a bit more reload speed, and ammo mutation just to help with the ammo consumption, since the Void missions tend to be slightly longer than normal ones. Now onto my recommendation as to whether I feel this weapon is worth the grind, and whether it's worth the cost. And the answer to that is absolutely, definitely yes it is. Now there's a lot of potential in this weapon, and the reason I don't put all the dual stat status mods on this weapon during my build section of these videos is I want to make the builds available to everybody, and not everybody has these mods. However, if you have access to these mods, then I would absolutely recommend putting them onto the weapon, as with all 4 of these dual stat mods, which you can get on if you go for a radiation and viral build for Grineer, you can push the status chance up to 68%, which is a huge boost to the damage of the weapon. Now I do feel that the overall accuracy and the fairly decent damage this weapon does outweighs negative, and just means that you need to change your aiming style slightly. Just aim slightly lower than the head, around the neck area, for the most amount of damage per burst with this weapon. Now as to whether this weapon deserves Forma or not, I feel that this weapon would greatly benefit from a few Forma being put onto it, if only to help boost the damage and to allow the ability to put on the ammo mutation. One thing I would recommend is to stay away from Magnum Force. One of the strengths of this weapon is its accuracy. Putting Magnum Force onto the weapon completely ruins that benefit that the Sicarus Prime has. As always guys, many thanks for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for some more content. And as always, I shall see you in the next episode.